for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here, back from the video, and today I'm going to be talking about what I think is one of the best quarterback run schemes in Madden 21. Today I'm going to be in the Baltimore Ravens offensive playbook, known for QB runs. We're going to be in the pistol spread offensive formation, one of the most unique formations in the game, tons of great runs. I'm going to be talking about the run as well as some of my favorite pass plays out of it. So obviously it's a QB run scheme. I'm going to be rocking with the Cardinals with Kyler Murray in regs. You actually can use pretty much any scrambling QB. So I could use this with the Texans, the Cowboys probably, and then obviously Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. You don't need any abilities for the QB. You don't need escape artists. You don't need fast break. So that's definitely nice. And then it's a spread formation, so I can get 4 wide receivers. If you're one of the players that likes to audible down, so if I were to audible to a different gun formation, or if I wanted to audible to a bunch from pistol spread, I could always sub in a tight end here and then do it from that. But again, I'm just going to be talking about pistol spread, going over it with 4 wide receivers. So hopping into our audibles, I got read option, zone alert bubble, jet pass, fake zone, and then we got the PA deep in play. There's a couple of other good plays. Y shallow cross, I might talk about a little bit later. If I don't, just know that post route beats cover 2. But yeah, let's just go straight into it. The main play out of this is going to be the read option. Very good against some of those $335 sets. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Alright, here we are out on the field. You see, taking a look at the formation, you always want to be on a hash out of a spread set. I think this is a pretty known thing for spread. You don't really want to be in the middle hash. You want to set yourself up on the right or the left and then do your route combinations from there. As you guys see, I'm on the right hash. So with this read option, I'm going to want the most space for my quarterback, and that means that I'm going to be running the QB option to the left-hand side. So just taking a look at the player, you see the player we're reading is actually going to be this player. Now, they're not base aligned. If they were to be base aligned, that linebacker would be in. It probably would be a little bit easier to read him, but just right there, look at the space we get from Kyler Murray. And you see he's pretty much off to the races. We actually get a touchdown on the first play, but you see there's just so much big play potential. And read option is one of those biggest running plays. Just running inside zone, you're definitely not going to get as many plays as if you are able to keep it with the QB. So again, he's going to keep it, and we're just going to go up the middle. We're not going to get as many yards, but we still pick up 5+, and that's going to be a common theme throughout the video. So again, I'm reading him. He's going to play the running back here, and obviously, you know, they might get a shed or something, and we are using one of the lower tier offensive lines, I would say, in the Cardinals. We're still able to pick those blocks and pick up a huge gain. Again, really the big play potential from the run scheme is going to come from the QB. That's why this video is called QB Run Scheme. But you see we're just consistently able to pick up so many yards in the open field, and these chunk plays where people are running the ball will really hurt a defense. And again, running the ball is not going to be the best per se, but it still will be effective as far as running with the halfback there. But again, really you just read that linebacker. If he cuts inside, you're going to keep it with Kyler. Again, you can still slide whenever you want. And this doesn't really use too much stamina, which is always the nice thing. If I, were to lose a bunch of stamina, I could always just let go of that right trigger and still pick up 10 yards or whatever the case may be. But again, really just using this run to the best of its ability will be with a lot of motion. I could sort of use this motion to fake the touch pass or whatever the case may be. But look at this, you can sort of cut it inside. That time I did make the wrong read, but again, you just kind of want to practice with this a little bit. Obviously, if you're using Baltimore, this will be super high powered, as you can just keep it with Lamar and he will go absolutely crazy. But just look at how good the blocks develop, and since it is a spread set, there's not going to be too many people in the box, which is really the reason I like to run this out of spread. Obviously, you could run any pistol read option and have success with it, but if you were running a pistol wing or a pistol strong, you're going to have big tight ends lining up on the line of scrimmage. You're going to have receivers close to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring linebackers into the box. It's going to bring corners into the box. It's really going to limit your big play potential as far as getting everyone blocked perfectly. But with this, you just grab some good blocking receivers like a Fitzgerald, Hopkins, and then you can pretty much just go to work. Look at how much space you have because it is a spread set and there's not too many people in the box. There's obviously going to be probably one linebacker as well as how many down linemen there are, but you see there's only like 5 people in the box right here with that corner. But again, we're not running that side, so it doesn't really matter. And really, again, just comes down to making the correct read. Look at how much big play potential it has, even on the handoff. If the block's developed correctly, you can really pick up a big chunk of yardage. Again, you could always, let's say they were to load up the left side, which is the wide side. If a player picks up on that, you could always, flip the play and still have success with it. But again, you just don't have as much space to operate. And the reason you are in a spread is for more space. Obviously, the cornerbacks are on that short side as well, which never helps. But in the case that, they do overload that strong or that weak side, you can always, or the wide side in that case, you could always run it to the short side, and you see we were able to pick up a big chunk of change. Even if I hand it off, you see I have so much space up the middle, and that's really just because the limit of the people in the box. So again, very solid run. Let's move on to our next play. It's going to be the zone alert bubble now. Halfback zones are really, really nice this year. Again, this is one where you're going to want to run it on the wide side, meaning your bubble to the wide side. Now, halfback zones and halfback or inside zone plays out of under center are actually very good this year. The blocks develop really well, and it's more difficult to shoot those runs in the backfield than it was last year. So again, even out of a pistol, pistol bunch tight end is probably the most known halfback zone run. But again, you can still have success going like this, boom. Now, I've noticed that for whatever reason, when I run it to this left side, Hopkins just always seems to miss that block. So you can always just go ahead and flip it if you wanted to and have success. Now, there's some weird glitch in the game right now where it's the throw out of sack glitch, where there won't be a defender even in the area, and I still will get a throw out of sack, but there you see it. This works better online, I will say, than practice mode. Again, we don't have the best blocking receivers out with Hopkins and Kirk. But again, it is a good play to mix in every once in a while if they were to stack the box to defend your run plays and they leave these receivers semi-open, then that is definitely a good play to mix in your arsenal. But again, you see that time Hopkins is going to pick up the block and we have an instant 10 yards. But again, let's say you just run the bubble to bait his user. So you want to get his user on the right side of the field, and then you can just hand it off. And again, it's going to be a very solid run with some good run stick. You can easily turn this into a 10-yard plus play, especially with the options up the middle you have. It's going to be difficult for someone to shoot the gap up the middle on this particular run because they're so worried about the run or the wide receivers out wide. They're making big time pass adjustments, and really the way to win out of this formation is to get them focused on the run. Again, this is sort of a run-first formation, I would say. Not too many good stock plays. So you get someone committed to the run, committed to stopping the run, and that's when you can start throwing the ball up top, which I will talk about next. So you've seen me pick up halfback zone a lot. You run that a couple of times, you're going to get them blitzing people. And really, if they are in dollar or whatever set, then it's going to be difficult for them to stop it. So here we are. Moving on to the next play, though, it's going to be this jet pass. Now, you notice that the player's motioned in a little bit. So if you are committed to running this play, I would say come out in its stock. Like, you already know you want to run it. Come out in its stock so that your opponent doesn't see that motion, because if he sees it, you might pick up on it and then even end up run committing. Because you'll see if I just audible back to a pass play, look at how far the players are going to move outside. So if he's a really good player, that's something that he can definitely pick up on. But if you just come out in its stock and sort of quick snap, it's not really an adjustment that he should be able to tell. And again, jet pass, it's a little bit worse than last year, I would say, a little bit less popular, but we still have a ton of big play potential with it out of the spread set. You see, I just had the worst run stick probably ever, and I picked up 5 yards out of it. Again, obviously I'm doing a lot of flipping, so it's taking a while, but if you just come out and snap the ball, he's not going to know that it's a jet pass until he sees that little motion animation. And from that point, you can really just cut it upfield. Look at all the space we have with Andy Isabella. You get a speedster on this, and it could be potentially over. And like I said, the blocks just develop super nicely out of a spread. There's not a cornerback that's going to shoot free pending a block shed or whatever the case may be. And again, this is one of those runs I like to run to the wide side. So I'm having a receiver come from the short side of the field, run to the wide side. We got some good blocking receivers out there with Hopkins and Fitzgerald. And just look at that. Even, if they get a block shed, you should be able to pick up at least 3 or 4 yards around there. And this is just going to be a really frustrating thing for them to defend. They got the bubble. They got the read option. These are just a little bit of annoying plays. And again, this isn't necessarily the most competitive, offense, I would say. But if you want to go into a game of Regs or Ultimate Team and have fun with your new Lamar Jackson card or Kyler Murray card, this is a scheme that you can run. It's one that I ran last year with the Blitz Kyler Murray actually, and won a lot of games running it just in weekend league, trying to have fun with the game. And it really is a lot of fun to run this type of offense. It's just sort of like RPOs, something that you wouldn't see everybody running. And again, it still can obviously be successful and win you some games. So those were the run plays. I just gave you 3 really good run plays. There's obviously some like fake jet pass, halfback zones that you could run if you want to get a little bit, cheesy. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't really run those particularly too much. But with that being said, let's move on to our first pass play, or our pretty much only pass play I'm going to talk about, PA deep in. I'll show this against cover 2 and then cover 3, maybe some man coverage. But again, if they are running man coverage, you can obviously just continue to pass or run the football yourself. But as far as my favorite setup out of this, what I like to do is go with A on a slant. And then with B. Now, B is interesting. You want to put him on a flat route on the left side to pull down the soft squat. So this is a cover 2 sink, I believe. So this soft squat's not going to play it. But if I don't have another route to the left side, he will actually follow the streak route. So what I mean by that is, let's just go with a base route combo. Take a look at the soft squat on the left. He's going to sort of follow him. Now, he does get delayed, but if you don't have, the best throw power, he's going to easily intercept that. And you see he's going to follow it 50 yards down the field if there's no one else in the area. So a good way that I like to counter that is you could honestly just run it like this with Y on a flat and obviously get him, wide open. But obviously, Garrett might pick up on that and just double flat or man him up and run a cover 3. So the way I like to run it, just so that he can't user that, is putting A on a slant. Then I'm actually going to motion Kirk over and then put him on the flat. I can't put him on the flat when he's on the wide side because it'll be a comeback, but I can motion him over like this, and it will still have the same effect. Pretty much when I do that, he has no chance to user that left of screen streak. If he does user it, we have the slant that's going to be wide open as well as the post route. So honestly, we do kind of want him to do that. Another way you could do it is just with B on the slant and then motion A on the flats, a little bit shorter motion. You can quick snap it potentially a little bit faster. But again, it doesn't matter who you motion over or whatever. Again, obviously I can throw that slant route. Soft squat actually played that really well. But again, depending on the coverage, if it's cover 3, this post route will be open. And pretty much the same concept for a cover 3 as well as the cover 2. Obviously, if it's cover 3, you can't go upstairs on the left-hand side. But you still will be able to hit the slant route, potentially the flat route. And the flat route will get open if they're playing their quad flats super deep. So I can still throw this ball. Let's pretend the quad flats were 20 yards there. I would pick up, a nice 10 yards. But again, very solid play against cover 2. Let's hop into some of the other coverages, though. All right, now let's pretend that they came out in a cover 3. I am in a cover 3 defense now. If they're running cover 3, you can actually hit this little seam route with Andy Isabella very effectively. I could just quick snap that. Obviously, it's going to be better from the wide side, so if I really wanted to hit that, I could just flip my play, and Fitzgerald would have a lot more space to operate on that, as well as the post route. So this is a very solid play against cover 3. Really, it does depend where the hook curl zones are playing. If they're playing over the top, then you will be able to hit some of the underneath stuff. You won't really be able to hit that seam streak as effective. But again, I like to run sort of the same exact setup. So could still run it like this, where B is going to be on the flat, obviously. But I like to put B on a flat or B on this little out route. So it's going to look like this. We got some great zones over the top. X is kind of a useless route, but if they were in this look per se, I wouldn't know if it's a cover 3 or a cover 2. So I would just be running sort of the same exact setup. But look at Andy Isabella on that little slant. Threw that super late, so that was my fault. But again, you're just seeing where your users, really it depends where your users, where you're going to throw your ball. But again, just here's the base route combination. RB on an out to the right, B on a flat, A on a slant. Then you obviously have this post route that's going to be very effective. But look at how open the slant is. Again, if I have those two routes sort of running into each other, I can just put A on a little drag route. But in that case, I might even just put on double drags on my field so that the drag doesn't run in the same area as the flat route. But still very effective. Look at how open the post route gets. So if he's using your slant routes or your drag routes very heavy, you can definitely go upstairs on that post route. And again, if it's man coverage, this post will beat man coverage. So you can just throw a slant on your field, maybe this little option. And then I can obviously do whatever I want. Maybe I put B on a little zig to beat the man coverage. Again, just mix in certain route combos. But again, the man shouldn't be too big of an issue. You might only have to go against it on a 3rd and 10 or whatever. If he blows up your run twice in a row, he commits to the run. But really, if he's committing to the run, you're going to have people open. It's going to be easier to pass rather than dropping 3 in coverage. He's not going to, or dropping 8. He's not going to drop 8 in coverage if you're running the ball on him, you know, every single down. So keep that in mind when running this scheme. But again, just a little fun offense. I like to run it when I'm, you know, just kind of bored and I just don't really want to sweat. Just want to hop into some casual Madden. But yeah, let me know if you want more videos like this. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and peace. I'm out of here.